Hey everyone, welcome to episode 2 of Rebuilding $100 million Startups. So, in this episode, we are going to build something called Perplexity AI using Lovable and n8n. That means no code. We are not going to write any code, and we are going to build that whole Perplexity AI chat engine just using n8n. So, without further ado, let's dive in and let's see how we can build it. So here is a already built-in demo that I just created using Lovable and n8n. So onto my left, you can see there is a nice chat application. It has got nice themes and all. And onto my right, there is a n8n AI automation pipeline, which is there. Now, let's go and give it a shot. Let's see how we are able to, interact through our Perplexity AI clone kind of stuff right in here. So what I'll just do is I'll activate the workflow so that it can accept the messages sent from the Lovable app. So for example, let's say if I simply go and simply write what is Node.js, and if I click hit enter, so you can see it will basically trigger our AI automation pipeline, and AI automation pipeline will basically grab the results using the chat model and the Google APIs, right, and combine it and send it back, and here it is. And if you want, you can play the videos, etc. Right? So basically, it gives us the two type of result right in here. First is the result from the AI agent, and it gives us the nice description about Node.js. And on the other hand, we are also getting like few references, few links to the YouTube right in here. So this is what Perplexity AI at its core is. So for example, so it is an AI model. It combines the result from AI model as well as the latest trending uh, references from Google search, or let's say from the internet. It combines all of those results and it gives to you. So that is what Perplexity AI at its core is, and that is what we are going to build in this episode. So without further ado, let's get in and let's start writing it. Let's see how we can build it. So here I have documented a nice prompt using which you can simply create, which you can directly give to Lovable, and you can basically create a simple uh, Lovable app, right? So this is a very simple AI prompt right in here. So what we have is I have just written like build a chat interface where user can ask questions, receive AI generated answers, and connect to a webhook endpoint. So this webhook endpoint is essentially a n8n webhook endpoint, and this uses a post request and sends the user question with queue and whatever the value of the user question is. So this is the kind of uh, request body that we have, and then the API or the webhook basically returns the answer related search. So for example, the quick links and the inline videos, that means the YouTube videos that we just saw right in here, right? So these are the kind of three things that we are getting as a response, and this is how that response looks like. So there is an answer key which basically corresponds to the answer written by the AI agent, AI model, and then there are basically things like related search and quick links, etc. Right? So what we will just do is we'll quickly feed this prompt to the Lovable, and Lovable will start spinning up the whole application as per this requirement. So what I'll just do is I'll just go in here and let me just paste it. So this will basically take some time to spin up the whole application. And let's wait until the application is up and running, and then we will dive in and start building our n8n automation pipeline. All right, so now we can see our Lovable app is up and running, and we can see the nice interface in here, very similar to Perplexity. And now what I can just do is I can just go and write something, any of the prompt, right? So our application is up and running. Now what we need to have is we need to have our n8n AI automation, which can basically listen to all of these chat messages and can give us that response. So let's go and let's see how we can quickly build it. So right in here, I have a blank n8n workbench. So let's go and first add the webhook node, because we are going to listen for the incoming webhook. And right in here, we can specify the endpoint name, etc. So I'll choose the method as post, and the path could be, let's say I'll call it deep search. Okay. So this is fine. And I'll just keep the rest of the option as it is. And let's click back on the cross button, click on save, right? And what we can also do is we can ask our Lovable app to basically update the endpoint to this, right? So I'll simply say update the endpoint to this, right? Something like this. So Lovable will basically update the endpoint, because in the documentation, what we did we basically gave some other endpoint, something like webhook test search, right? But in this case, in our case, the endpoint is webhook test slash deep search. So I think that has been updated, which is absolutely fine. Let's click in here. And what now we can do is, so let me just merge these two things so that we can parallelly see what is going on in here. So what I'll just do is I'll activate the workflow and I'll simply say what is Node.js, let's say, right? And I'll click in here and you can see our automation pipeline is running actually, right? So we've received this message right in here, like what is Node.js, right? So now what I can just quickly do is I can basically add few other things right in here. And so the next thing that I need right in here is the AI agent from which we can basically get the uh, result corresponding to the prompt. So I'll select AI agent right in here. And now what you can just do is, so what we want is we want to feed this request body directly to the AI agent, right? So what I'll just do is I'll select this option, define below, and what you can just do is you can drag and drop this, right? So this simply means that you're grabbing the prompt right from the request body. And the result of this prompt is you can see what is Node.js. So that means we are able to grab that particular input from the webhook now. So what I'll just do is I'll click on this, I'll click on save. Now we need to feed this to the chat model, right? So we will need an OpenAI chat model right in here. And so I have shown you this thing in my previous videos as well. So what you can just do is you can quickly create a new API key. So for example, let's say uh, my test key, let's say, and I'll click on create. So this would create my test key, which I can copy and I can use right in here. So I'll click in here and click on new credentials uh, and click on save. And this should connect. You can see connection test successfully and this seems fine. So I'll click back and I'll click on save. Now, if I double click right in here and if I execute this step, so our input will be passed down to the chat model, right? And that result would be displayed right in here. So let's see if we are able to do that or not. So you can see the AI agent is returning a nice output to us, which we can basically use. So AI related part is now complete. Now what I can also do is I can bring in the search model, right? So the online search or the internet search model. So for that, what we are going to use is we are going to use a search API.io and which provides multiple APIs related to Google. So you can just go and create your free accounts, get your API key. And what you can then do is you can just go to, let's say, Google, right? And if you scroll down, so this is how you can make the API calls right in here. So here is your API key and few of the other things. So what I'll now do is I'll just go and bring in few more things right in here. So what we need is we need a HTTP model, HTTP node or HTTP request node right in here. And this node will make a GET request because we are making a call to the search engine, right? And this would be the endpoint to which we want to make a call. So I'll just specify that endpoint right in here. And then we are going to send the query parameters, that is the API key. So let me just write API key and the API key value. And then the engine that I'm going to use is the Google engine. So let me simply hardcode this right in here. And that's it. So what I'll now do is I'll just connect this node uh, with my webhook, right? So if I click in here and what now I can do is so now there is one more thing basically that we have to pass, that is Q is equals to ChatGPT. So this is something like a query basically. So instead of ChatGPT, you can pass HTML, you can pass what is Node.js, etc. So anything that you're searching can be passed as a value against this key that is Q right in here. So what I'll now do is I'll just say add parameter and I'll say the parameter name is Q and the value would be dynamic value from the incoming request body from the webhook, right? So I think this should work absolutely fine. I'll click on execute step. So we should now get the search result from the Google right in here. And that is what we are getting, right? Now, so there are a lot of parameters which are there. And I just want to grab few parameters. That is something like, for example, let's say if there is like this thing, related search. And I can also grab things like inline videos. So there is something like inline video property as well, which we can utilize. So there are basically the related questions and the inline videos property that we are going to utilize right in here. And I think this is fine. So this is what we are getting from the our HTTP node. Now what we have to do is we have to basically combine the two results, the result that we are getting from the AI agent and the result that we are getting from the HTTP node. So what I can just do is I can simply click right in here, and you can see there are options like flow, and there is one of the things that is merge. So what I'll just click right in here is the merge, and I'll click on combine, and I would simply say all possible combination right in here. So this is fine, and I'll also put this node right in here. So if we just double click and if we execute this, so it will basically combine both the result that we are getting from the AI agent and from the Google search. So you can see this is the output that we got from the AI agent, and here we have all the result from the Google search. Now I don't need all of these fields to be returned to be returned as a response. So what we can also do is we can filter out the specific fields right in here. So what I'll now do is I'll just click on data transformation and edit fields. And right in here, what we can do is we can simply tell the agent that, okay, these are the fields that I want. So obviously we need the related search and the inline videos. So I'll just grab inline videos as well. So we have inline videos and the value is the array. So you can select the array directly. And then we also need the related search. So let's go. So here it is actually, right? So I'll just place it in here. And if I execute this, so you'll just get output and the inline videos and the related search. So that is what we have at the end. So this is fine. Now we have to basically send back this whole result to the Lovable app, and that is sent again with the help of a respond to webhook node. So this should be fine. First incoming item, so it will respond. So if I just execute this, it will basically respond with this output right in here. So I think that is absolutely fine. I'll click on save. So now our n8n AI automation is ready, and let's now basically hit the endpoint, and let's see if we are able to listen to this webhook endpoint and whether we are able to get the desired results or not. So I'll activate the workflow, and I'll simply write something like what is HTML, let's say in this case. So if I hit enter, we are getting an error right in here. Let's see what we have. Okay, so we are responding immediately. What I can just do is I can simply change it to respond to webhook, and I'll click on save. Let's activate the workflow again. Let's again write the message, what is HTML, and click in here. And now we can see the whole automation has been triggered, and it's kind of fetching the results, right? So we got some of the result, but few of the things are not shown right in here. So let me just write a prompt. So there is actually a problem which is there, right? So what is that problem? If we just see the response format, so it contains, let's say what I'll just do is I'll just copy the response format right in here. I'll just copy, and what I'll just do is I'll simply paste it in here. Response. So I'm kind of trying to update the response handling in my Lovable app so that we can handle the things gracefully right in here. So it will do that quickly, and meanwhile, let's wait and let's see once it's ready. So we are not getting videos properly. So let's check. So what we the problem right in here was that inline video key was basically we were getting it as null, and hence the videos were not getting updated, right? Or they were not being displayed. So what I've now done is I have added a new property called perspectives. So this basically contains things like YouTube videos, Reddit posts, or external references. So this should now work. So if we just execute, you can see we have two things. The first is the related searches and the perspective array. And I have also updated my Lovable app to handle these three keys. So if I just activate the workflow, and if I simply write something like what is Node.js, and if I click right in here, so you will actually see that we will get the whole result, right? So we are getting the AI response as well as the external references. Now let me search for what is HTML. So it's something like sometime you might get the key relevant keys, sometime you might not, right? So for example, what is HTML, let's say, and let's see if we get the answer in this case or not, a different answer in this case or not. So yes, in this case, we are getting the relevant videos, relevant articles, the relevant links, and the AI generated response right in here. So this is your own agent that we have created with no code, just using Lovable and n8n. So this was all about this episode 2. If you like these videos, then comment below. I'll make more videos around n8n and AI automation.